Right, so this is not on the agenda, but it is something that came out this morning, and we have an appointment on this also at 12 noon today. We have had a number of issues with Department of Revenue, and we need to figure out a way to address these. We've had a slew of people coming in recently in the last 4 or 5 months who have said, my tax bills were going to Illinois, my tax bills were going to Butte, my tax bills were going to Hawaii, and I didn't get a tax bill.
Oh,
Then they go to the Department of Revenue, who is the ones that send those tax bills, and they say, well, go to your county, because they're the only ones that can fix this. So we have people coming to us saying, Department of Revenue said, this is your fault, you need to fix it.
Or it's
And-
assessed wrong.
Right, right.
or it's been
And-
assessed wrong, not just wrong address?
Correct.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
both.
Like today at noon, it was assessed wrong.
But their bills were also sent
Yeah,
to
it was
Ohio,
double. Indiana,
Indiana, okay, all those middle states.
somewhere underneath the great state of Michigan.
Somewhere in the middle.
That's right.
Well, I mean, if you have to choose, right, Ohio, Michigan, I mean.
That's right.
I'm
Anyways.
I'm surprised you're so happy today.
Still might be in the playoff, but anyways.
But we digress.
So we have these folks who have been directed by Department of Revenue that the county will make this right. And we're looking at a slew of people asking us for refunds for errors committed by Department of Revenue. So Doug, yesterday, I think, mentioned that, we really need to have a policy. He's right, we do need to develop a policy so that people know going into it and it's in writing, what the issues are, what we're gonna do. But in talking this morning over this issue and then another one that's coming up, we're thinking that we need to have a legal letter to Department of Revenue requesting that they actually work with us as a partner and not a
Cash cow.
cash cow. There you go, absolutely.
Because some of these are gonna cost the county, one is 30 years back.
Yeah, I've got that one here, it's and the thing that irritates me about this one is, it was a tax that had been assessed on 2 different codes, same property on 2 different tax numbers. Went to tax, the one customer quit paying because they had sold the property. It went to tax lien. The person who took out the tax lien had it for 3 years. Now it's ready to go to tax deed. So they had Don from Rocky Mountain Title do a title research on it. And his letter to them is, I just thought I should touch base on the Hardgrove piece of land. I've never seen this happen before. It says Hardgrove owned a bunch of property in the 60s. They deeded it off. They deeded off this lot in 1962 as they sold off the rest of their property. They continued to use the legal description of all their land even though they had sold this lot. So it was actually the homeowner's mistake that caused this to happen. But his reply to him was the county was double assessing this lot. We don't assess the lots. That's Department of Revenue. We get the credit for it. So he spoke with the assessor and they're correcting the record, but that goes back to 1962. That,
So it's
Department of
not-
Revenue will refund only 1 year regardless, but then send people to us for the other years, even when it was their error.
Yeah, like this one that's coming at noon,
Is there a-
assessed them for 3 stories, but it's a 2-story home.
Okay.
I know on another case, they assessed them for 1,000 extra square feet than the home actually had, which they realized after the homeowner filed a formal complaint with them and found that it was actually 1,000 square feet less than what he was being taxed for the last 6 years.
And are they citing some kind of a state law that we owe it rather than them after year 1? They're just saying that's how it is?
Essentially, they're passing the buck.
Yeah.
Oh, well, don't bother us with this, go to your county,
How
your
many
county commissioners.
properties we're dealing with at this point?
we've done, since I've been on the board, we've had 4.
Uh-huh. That's a
I've got
lot.
two right here that are in tax lien, that have been double assessed. This book is just since June. These are the properties that we've had to revise their bills since June.
So we're not talking about a few, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars.
And we've denied most of them. Some people have asked to be forgiven for interest, for penalties, or to be refunded in total. And we have denied most of them, but on the other hand, it wasn't our error, so we shouldn't be giving taxpayer money back. But they paid an error, overpaid because Department of Revenue told them to.
And we received the money.
And we receive the money and put in people's budgets.
Right.
And the money's gone. So, I mean, this has a lot of ramifications. Something has to give.
Right, and then also Heidecker. Heidecker was,
Yeah.
it was horrific to this county.
Well, that's a great
And is a
point.
part of this whole issue.
That is a great point, because there's land that's still marked agricultural that they're marketing as subdivision, and that, by that ruling, that should now change to residential. Do you agree?
No, I agree it should, but I
Yeah,
agree
yeah.
that ruling says that it doesn't matter if you're marketing it. We've decided that we're gonna continue to tax you at non-qual ag, not even active ag, regardless of how the property's used.
Which is the lowest taxable bracket.
Exactly.
My point is that that ruling, though, depended on those facts. And the facts now are, at least in these properties, are different, in that they are being marketed. And
I agree with
So I think it comes out of that. But I know Department of Revenue, they're sensitive about it, because they don't want to get sued again on it, so.
Well, the problem is though, is I know with one of the cases where the individual came to me on Monday, said, I went to them several times and it wasn't until I filed a formal complaint that they sent someone out, measured my home, and verified that they were charging me for 1,000 square feet more.
How does another area I haven't dealt with, how does the tax protest process work? Do you have a certain amount of time to protest that, or are you?
That's probably the most convoluted piece of legislation there is in the world.
Oh, some good news.
They send out an assessment notice in June, the Department of Revenue. And once that assessment notice is sent out, you have 30 days to appeal that assessment
Okay.
with an AB 26, which is their form. If you don't get the results that you want from the Department of Revenue, then you can, within another 30 days, you can protest the county tax appeal. So basically, once that assessment comes out in June, you have pretty much at the most 60 days to appeal your taxes. Your tax bill doesn't come out until November. So people get an assessment notice and they look at it and it's Greek. It doesn't tell you what your taxes are gonna be, it tells you what your assessed value is. Then their bill comes out in November and they see, oh, my bills went up $400 from last year, I'm gonna go protest it, it's too late.
Mm.
It's too late.
And
That's another thing that Department of Revenue came to me yesterday and they had one of my little problems here that had been assessed on 2 different tax bills. And they told the guy to file an AB 26. He's too late. That had to be filed before July. So why are they telling them to do that?
And these are, how many, 2 or 3 people that work downstairs in this building? How many are there?
In Doug's office?
Well, I thought we had DOR folks in the building across the hall. 2?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's,
So they go to them and they send them down to you?
right. But some of these problems predate whoever those employees are, right? Who at least the one from the 60s, so. And the fact that that property owner, yeesh.
So
Things
it's a
we get
mess.
the blame for a lot
Right,
of this.
and now we're looking at these folks that are coming in here in an hour to hour and a half, wanting money for the last 2 years that they've paid their taxes. and paid in excess of, I'm not sure what the total was.
It was a lot.
It was pretty substantial because they were being charged for a whole nother floor.
But they didn't follow the process, which makes it hard for us to
Exactly.
do what we may feel is the right thing to do. In part because Department of Revenue was sending their information to the wrong
Wrong
place.
place.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were sending their Indiana or in Illinois, one of the two they were sent. So these folks actually brought their tax attorney from Indiana, Illinois, or wherever they were originally from, and they paid the back taxes, which was in the sum of $23,000.
Okay.
Then the attorney was able to get them reappraised or reassessed. When they found after the reassessment, they were being, they paid too much in back taxes.
And so what was the timeline for them to, this stuff was going to their old address. When did they become aware of it then?
I don't know.
Their property was under assignment, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So that when they became aware of it was when they probably received a certified letter that they were about to lose their property.
But it went to the correct address.
It went.
You're saying it went to the correct address?
Because it was sent from the county,
Oh.
yes. That portion is a process by the county.
And she was in the they shared with us yesterday that she was in the hospital for a long period of time and so on and so forth. But I agree with Chairman Obert, is this sort of ties our hands into what we feel personally, ties our hands because what's right, Department of Revenue is really writing a bunch of checks to the citizens that we have to cash. You see what I'm saying?
A good percentage of our tax dollars goes right back to the state. And if they come to you guys for a refund,
Does the county
once
the entire
that
thing?
property is reassessed to a new value, that money that's already been sent to the state, is gonna come off the next month's money that I send to them. There will be a reduction in the amount that they get. So it's not like it's all coming out of the county funds, but the rest of it has gone to weed and road and solid waste and planning and the general fund and the treasurer and the attorney, and, we've all taken our little share of it. You start going back 50 years,
Yeah, taking stuff out of 24 different accounts and, yeah.
And if we set a precedent where our hearts reach out to somebody, we've set a precedent that now everybody comes forward, and we simply can't afford that.
No, in some that the board's done in the four cases that have come, is we've only forgiven the interest, not the
Yeah.
penalties.
Okay.
So that's been the working policy of this board, where,
And another thing we have to keep in mind too, when you buy property, you owe the taxes. If you don't get a tax bill, it's your responsibility to call and find out why you didn't get one.
And that's 100% true, yeah.
but it
Personal
still does,
responsibility.
right, that still doesn't fix the issue that we're having with the Department of Revenue.
Right,
and it's always been Department of Revenue since I've worked here. It's been their policy to only refund 1 year, and then the rest.
So
falls
how,
on you guys.
how can we make a policy that has teeth to it, sort of like what the Department of Revenue has? That we're only going back, say, a year or 2 years, where we don't have a situation that we're going back 60 years. That will hold teeth, that has some stout to it, that it's just not, well, this is what we're gonna do until we get slapped.
Yeah, well, someone that they're going back that far, they've clearly not I'm just thinking in terms of what that would look like for, you know, for any lawsuit, you have a statute of limitations. And for civil things, it's generally 3 years. For these, I don't know what it is, I'd have to look into that. So it may be you just limit it to whatever that statute of limitations is, if it's
Oh.
2 years or 3 years. But I'll have to do some research on that. I guess one thing I would like to know, and I'm probably gonna call Mako on this, is how, if they're hearing, about this happening a lot with other counties, and then if it's really a statewide issue, then we kind of band together with other counties to go to them and to address it.
Yeah, because the thing that they did this past year with Northwestern Energy, I feel, was way out of line. I feel that hurt to all us small counties, and I think it's out of line. But that's what they're getting away with. And just like the people that come to us and sit in front of us, every one of them say, well, the Department of Revenue said that we have to come and talk to you. So that's the frustrating act of this, is that we're the ones, we're coming out to be the bad guys regardless. We're the ones not making the mistake. We've not made one of these mistakes. But we're holding the purse strings. That's what's frustrating.
And with Department of Revenue, I think what they're doing is they're past their 30-day, to protest their assessment. So that, well, you can still go to the county tax appeal board. Well, no. If you wanna go by Montana code, when you're past that 30 days, if you haven't filed an AB 26 with the state, then come and protest with the county that you did.
Well, part of the issue there though is if they have proof that it wasn't sent to them, then there may be a waiver of that deadline.
So I guess what I'd like to see is us to draft a policy, whether it's whatever the statute of limitation is, adopt that policy so we're prepared from here on out.
Well, and, yeah, we can do that. I think the bigger issue is dealing with Department of Revenue.
Oh, yeah, I
You know,
agree. But we have to put something in place to protect us.
yeah.
You know, and also would be a good idea is to the next county newsletter, have a section on taxes. When your assessment comes in, review it, compare it to last year's, you have 30 days. This is the process, so that people have that, it goes to every box holder in the county. That way they have that information and they're not caught in this situation of, well, I didn't know I needed to protest, I didn't know I needed to file an AB 26. And then our hands aren't tied at this point because they didn't follow the process, they didn't know it existed.
That'd be a good
I've
letter.
had 3 people this week call me about their taxes because they're being overassessed. And I was gonna call last year, I was gonna call a year before, but I'm doing it this year. Well,
You can't wait.
you know, I tell each one and every one of them, I said, that assessment notice is probably your single most important tax document that you get all year long. You need to scrutinize that thing.
And the one
But
that
I'm
we
2
really
years
good.
too late telling them that because they've already gone, well, you can't fight government, they pay it.
Yeah.
You know, your heart goes out to the citizens, but it shouldn't fall on your shoulders to, you know, it's gonna be awful hard to run for reelection.
No, you're good.
You're safe, Doug. You're safe.
We told Doug and he said, no, I'm not giving their money back.
There you go.
Put that on your slogan.
Well, I think that's a good idea, the newsletter as well as maybe even an article in the newspaper. And then especially do it like in May before the assessments come out.
Yeah.
A reminder, they might be getting to do it now, they're getting their bills and.
Well, they get it in November, everyone's stressing because holidays, and no one wants to pay their taxes in November, so,
Yeah, but why are those the dates? I'm sure it's a historical reason, right?
yeah, I have no idea.
But if we could also address the high decker, that's That's a hard hit on this county.
I think
That's
that's,
not right.
I think we're due to have a little tax meeting
But yeah, I mean, it's getting quite costly to us as a county. Especially if he's already got a 3-ring binder full.
And most of them, you know, when you start looking through it, realized after AB 26, that's the state's form, you know, it's not something we did. This was a mobile home that was deactivated, that, you know, that happens. Double built. Built to 2 different people. Revised due to late approval of PTAP. So the state gave them discount because they're low income, or because they're
Disabled?
disabled, right? Revised after AB 26 review. This is a duplicate of another tax bill, you know. That's, I mean, I'm getting duplicates all over the place. Revised due to late approval of PTAP. You know, none of these are our fault, but they all come back to us.
And we all,
Revised per DOR, central office reaggregation, I've got 2 of those. Central aggregation, there's another one. There's another one. Central office reaggregation. And why isn't this being done before we print our tax bills? That's why they send the assessment notice and give them 30 days to protest. And they send it out in June. We don't print our tax bills until the end of October. If you don't have enough people to handle the work, hire more people.
right. Well, and
The lead tax bill due to AB 26 review, so there's another one that was billed wrong.
I mean, he has a whole 3-ring binder that has cost this county money. And not at the mistake of the county. That's what's frustrating.
Our binder from last year went from this size to about this size.
And the
And that's every
DOR
year.
is
That's every
directing
year.
people to us. That's also what's getting me. They're not taking responsibility, they're just passing the buck to us.
And so, it isn't the folks here, or is it their boss at a higher level who we need to engage with?
I kind of believe it's coming from higher levels.
I do
myself.
too. I think it's a policy, and the people downstairs are following their department's policy.
Well, how many people have we went through in our Department of Revenue in the last 3 years? 6 people.
It's been a revolving door.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we keep people for a couple months, and then they're out of here and we get somebody brand new.
We had a customer call in yesterday because the people they bought the property from, their name was still on the tax bill along with the new owner's name. We called the Department of Revenue and they said, well, our records are correct. Well, I don't, mine come directly from them. There's no way I can change a name, address, anything. It's that pulled over directly from their system, so.
Okay.
Yeah, something's broke somewhere.
Yeah, I have one on the road, they say, why don't you just change that? I don't have the authority to change it.
Yeah.
You have the authority to change it, I don't.
I had a customer come in yesterday that for the last 4 years, he's been billed solid waste on his mobile and on his real property. He has to come in every year and complain to get that taken off of his tax bill. Why? Why can't they fix that record?
Once.
That's the guy
And
that
not bill
called
him every year.
that I sent you?
No, that was with a,
Solid waste.
thank you.
Mhm.
That was with, he actually had a container.
Oh, okay. I thought,
Fee.
did you say solid waste or you said something else?
Yeah.
Solid waste, yeah.
This guy had a container.
And that was a Department of
Okay.
Revenue decision. They decided that all mobile homes would be billed solid waste.
Oh. Okay. All right, well, let me, do some snooping on this.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Kind of nice to vent to somebody who's actually listening.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, some of this, do you think people are, you know, word of mouth? I mean, honestly, I'm probably gonna take a look at mine. I don't pay attention to that, I just pay it.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, I'm wondering if you're getting more, because people are talking to people are kind of, you know,
Oh, yeah.
More people
Well,
are
could
checking.
be.
so.
And I'm like you, I'm guilty.
And we're
I
gonna,
look at mine.
and after we do that letter, we're gonna have a rush of people that read that and say, hold on a second. There's gonna be a mass flood of people that are gonna be like, I'm part of this group.
Maybe not the ones that are under tax.
Right, no,
Yeah.
no,
But we don't generally hear from them,
no, ever.
right?
No such thing as under tax.
It's like this wrong address, I just grabbed mine, I never paid attention to it before, and I opened up to make sure all they were in there, because I had about 10 different ones, I guess. And there's in there for somebody else's in mine.
Oh, yeah.
And in fact, I'm gonna talk to you about it, because if it wasn't into them also.
He's been paying that for years.
That particular, I don't think I have that.
I know.
All right. You need me anymore?
No,
No,
thank you.
thanks.
So you guys have a meeting at noon, you're not going to the training then?
We have attended the training, the three of us. I conducted one, so.
And it's vigorous, let me tell you.
Vigorous?
Yes.
No, we would like to, and I think we should, but, we got all our wires crossed, so, they'll come talk to us after.
Thank you, thank you.
But everybody else should who hasn't. Thanks, Doug.
Thanks.
All right, so, Brandon, glad you're here. Educate us on this. I'm gonna read to you the email I got. Good morning. Normally, insurance is already in place and there is no additional cost to you to add named items. Per the lease purchase agreement, section 10, commercial insurance, or self-insurance, is a requirement and a lien holder must be listed as lost payee additional insured. Also, please see the first, oops, I'm sorry, that was not the first email. First one was, good morning, Laura and Julie. Laura, per the attached, please call Julie or PDF scan this email to her with your approval. To assist in getting insurance initiated for your recent financing through us. I understand you already have insurance. This request is to get the lost payee additional insurance to whom your payment stream will flow attached to the policy. This request must be made by me, by you. Thank you for your help in getting this accomplished. And then it said pricing is found on pages 15 and 16 of the vendor quote, which didn't exist. I thought this was a scam, so I'm glad you're here. I did not respond that I think this was a scam. So, yeah, educate us, because this is incredibly unusual.
Yeah, this kind of got thrown on me this morning, so I'm just trying to figure it out a little bit myself. What I understand is that the insurance is already purchased pretty much through the contract on the loan for Zerker. And what they need is they just need a certain certificate that it's insured and who the lost payee is if, which is, I just brought this over, I got a fax from this Ann lady, which maybe explains that better than I could explain
It
it.
says, good afternoon, Laura and Julie. Laura, please call the above phone number to assist in getting insurance initiated for the financing through the below items. The request must be made by you as the chair. You may wish to forward this email with your approval and get it initiated. Please send me a copy of the certificate of insurance below the below listed lost payee, as well as additional insured for the items listed below. So it's Citizens Bank of Las Cruces, P.O. Box. Could you please make sure the policy shows the breakdown on deductibles and it is covered for theft? I appreciate it. Please return this cover page with the insurance. Estimate value is $169,937. Description is CAD E911 mapping RMS JMS financial civil software and parental hardware and services. policy number, pool. Thank you for your prompt attention.
So talking with Tammy, it's my understanding that Zerker has not been paid. Yet they've been doing all this work for us because of this, being held up. And I talked to a lady on the phone and she's like, this fax will probably explain it to you better than what you're understanding what I'm telling you. I mean, she kept repeating it and I'm like, I'm not getting it, but.
So the bottom line is, there's no extra cost. This should already be included in our insurance, they just need verification of that.
That
Is
is
that right?
basically what I am getting, yes.
Okay,
And
all right.
They just need a certification that it's
That
covered
it's-
under its insurance policy.
yes, that's what I'm understanding. You know, maybe a phone call to this lady from you guys just to maybe reiterate that, but that's the facts that I got from her. And then, once they get that, then Zerker can be paid. That's my understanding, they have not been paid, and like they've been here all week, working with us, we're setting it up, you know, we have
Right.
equipment here and.
Yeah, which the grand total, this grand total matches the grand total on this. And this is exhibit B from the agreement that Laura signed. That we as a commission agreed, that Laura signed as the chair.
And maybe I could, make a phone call to Zerker, you know, just confirm this. Just really wanted it to get addressed. I mean, I hate having people here doing a lot of work for us and we are spending a lot of their time and money.
Well, this is much more clear. I had followed up and the answer I got was, well, you need insurance, additional insurance to cover your loan. Well, we don't take out insurance to cover loans.
Okay, and I'm not.
So, this is much more clear. I'm happy with a vote, you know, and I don't even think we need a vote, but I'm happy to talk to Julie Zeperian
Okay,
and have her provide what they're looking for and, just verify
But
that this is already covered.
you did need this signed.
and maybe talk to Julie about that. There
Have
is
it
one
here.
already filled out.
Yeah,
But
so,
then I don't know if they want another one, a different, but it seemed like that everything had been done except for this certificate, which, that's acceptance certificate, but
it's exactly the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're the
Yeah.
exact same thing.
Okay, so that's done. Can we just re-give them this one?
I think
I
it
think it
needs
was,
to show the.
was it the date, according to Tama? Was it the date that, because it hasn't been paid, so we need a current, because it has not been paid? I thought that's what Tammy explained to me when I was over there.
Maybe, and maybe talking straight with Julie would probably clear, you know,
All
we're
this
taking
stuff.
some of these middle people out that don't understand, you know, what, that's, I've never ever even heard of something like this, so I'm not.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, no, I
maybe
haven't either.
talking
This is
straight to
odd.
them would help a lot, but cut out the middleman, I just, whatever we gotta do to get it done is what I would like, but I think it has to come from you guys.
Well, I mean, I would be in favor, I mean, obviously, we're in favor, but, I mean, it's not costing us any more money, according to this, it's already
Yeah.
what we have here.
Right?
So it's not an added cost we're taking on, they just
Yeah.
want a certificate. We,
Yeah?
as long as I understand that right.
Right,
'Cause
absolutely.
last night when I got the email, I was like, I have no idea what this is talking about.
Yeah, and like I said, I totally thought it was a scam.
That's,
And counties have been hit recently a
Oh, yeah.
lot, so it was on my head anyway.
and maybe it's probably not a bad idea to do some double checking, but this lady that I talked to, Ann, Schmidt, I asked her, I said, well, is there an added cost, is there something we need to purchase? She said, no, there's nothing to purchase, we just need what this email says, a certificate.
Verification.
Basically, she said, with the loan, it usually comes with you already purchasing that insurance, it's all should be added into that cost, is what was explained to me over the phone, so.
Okay, that should be easy then. Just an email and attach that, forward it to Julie, which she was attached anyway, and should be fairly easy.
Okay, and if somebody could just attach me or something
Yeah.
to any answers, so I can, if I need to do some groundwork or some more, I can definitely do that, so, we
Okay.
can get this handled. So.
Do you want all this, Madam Chair?
Please, yeah. and then I'll put it in the commission pile to be filed.
Which, we should have a filer here so shortly.
Yeah, that would be nice and necessary. Thank you. All right.
All right.
Cool.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the
Thank you, guys.
explanation, I appreciate it.
Just get on the agenda next week for my taxes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
See you guys.
Thank you
so much.
See ya.
Oh.
All right, we have the same, just share some mail with you, we have the same kind of thing. This is a finance agreement for the, get out my glasses, but I think this is for the skid steer.
Oh, yes.
And it's just another contract, and, you know, people complain about the red tape and bureaucracy with government, it is nothing compared to big business.
Oh, geez, you're kidding.
Yeah, this is a third copy of the lease agreement that they want, just to verify for corporate that it has been done. So the other pieces of paper, they have to go
Aren't
with
good
this, right? They want it again.
It's like selling a car.
No, kidding, yeah. So, I do want approval of the board to go ahead and fill that out. I guess in triplicate, since this is third one.
We should just
The
make a
same.
carbon copy.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, that meeting, the last one, I felt was very productive.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
It takes that Monday feeling a little bit away.
Mm,
This isn't the skid steer, this is the
The cat.
cat loader.
cat, yeah.
Quick question, if we could interrupt.
The disbursement.
No questions on
No
Wednesday.
questions. No, good.
That's a Monday.
Oh,
It's been a
yeah.
question day, all day. The disbursement form, so that I can fill out the top part for the invoice that I have.
For the Zerker?
For the Zerker, for the government capital,
You're talking about the payment schedule that
the
you?
disbursement schedule, like a disbursement page. I have another one if you don't.
You know what?
I think that one, I thought that was
Whatever
the
you
page that-
need, you may have, okay.
the page that you had a question
This
on.
one
that
right here.
needed to be filled out.
Okay,
Did you, this I have all of the Zerker stuff to fill out, or you can fill it out as well. It's this one right here,
okay,
but it has a wrong date on it.
okay.
So if you wanna fill all of that out, sign it and date it so that I can get it to Ann with the other information, and we can get it taken
Today's date?
care of.
Okay, all right.
That would be awesome.
You will have it shortly.
I do appreciate it. Thank you,
Good, thank you.
appreciate it. Sorry about the confusion.
So you can fill out the top, right?
Yes, I can.
Cool, I'll just sign it and date it for you, how's that?
Perfect.
And then if you would just get us a copy,
I will
we'll put it in
certainly.
our,
Yep.
our files too.
And then Julie will be able to get us, what we need insurance wise?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I will, just send, if I could, do I need that back,
You don't
the
need,
stuff?
you can have all of that.
Oh,
if
perfect,
you want,
okay.
so.
And I'll just send that to her as soon as we have a break,
Okay,
and say, please provide what they're looking for in this attachment.
okay.
Yeah,
I'm so good,
Thank
thank
you.
all
you.
right, thank
You
you.
guys have a good one.
You too.
As long as I didn't lock myself out. I locked myself out of the building yesterday.
That's kind of funny.
That's not a bad
Oh,
thing.
Lord. Don't do that very often.
All right, do I have a motion on the triplicate for the equipment?
I'll make a motion.
That's what this one here.
Yeah. To go ahead and sign again the paperwork for the Caterpillar wheel loader.
Yeah, I'll second.
All right, it's
See,
been
we're
moved,
paying 6% interest there.
it's been moved and seconded to sign the paperwork again for the Caterpillar loader for the road department. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All All right, looks like a motion, a unanimous motion. So, I will get my glasses and fill this out with Michelle as soon as we're done. That is good with you guys. We have, approved claims in the amount of $33,831.32.
And I will make a motion to pay the approved claims in the amount of $33,831.32.
I'll second.
So moving and seconded to pay the approved claims in the amount of $33,831.32. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
We did have a little bit of a cross wires on the time for our appointments today. Debbie and Michelle are gonna do their training at noon,
Okay,
and then they're gonna come see us with Doug after,
okay,
and also talk about some issues that they have, one being the claims process.
okay.
And specifically having commissioners, after the meetings, go down directly to approve the claims on Mondays, rather than arbitrarily during the week, so that they can make sure they get those paid. And then the other thing is, Debbie sent an email to Harold Blatty regarding the email we got from Corey on his budget. Harold's going to schedule a time to come down and talk to us about budgeting, talk to Corey. We've had a number of trainings. Corey hasn't come to any, you're new and didn't get any county
Right.
budgeting training. So he's going to just do a Q&A with us on this so that
Okay.
it solidifies what the commissioner's responsibilities are, how budgeting works, how the general fund works, that kind of thing. So
Okay.
he'll let us know a date on that. And I think we are done until noon, unless there's anything else in the meantime for you guys.
No, on.
All right, should we go ahead and recess till noon then?
Yes.
All right, we are so recessed.
So we have 1:30